You know how it is in football? Sometimes it all comes down to one single moment. Well, that's exactly what happened in this huge Manchester United versus Arsenal game. We're talking about one goal that didn't just decide the match, it kicked off a massive debate across the country. Was it a fair challenge, or was it a clear-as-day foul? That's what we're going to dig into right now. Right, so this wasn't just some random goal in the middle of the game. Oh no, this was the deciding goal. And the whole firestorm around it, I mean, the thing that has pundits, players, and fans all arguing, it really boils down to one simple question. Was this just a legitimate show of strength, or was it a flat-out illegal foul on the goalkeeper?
All right, so a goal divides opinion. You've got to ask, right? How can the exact same play cause such a massive split between people who live and breathe this sport? Let's get right into the thick of it and break down what actually went down in that 6-yard box.
Okay, first step, the case for no foul. Now, for a whole lot of people watching, this was just, well, it was classic Premier League football, you know? Physical, tough, nothing more to see here. Let's explore that side of the argument. And here you have it, straight from Gary Neville. His take really gets to the heart of this argument. He's basically saying, look, the responsibility here isn't on the attacker, William Saliba. No, for him, it's all on the Manchester United keeper, Altay Bayindir. He just had to be stronger. End of story. So, digging into the details of the no-foul camp, it really comes down to a few key things. First, they'll point out that the keeper, Bayindir, he's the one who actually started the contact, putting his arm on Saliba. And from there, what did Saliba do? Well, not much, they'd say. He didn't raise his arms, he didn't do anything obviously illegal, he just stood his ground. Even a former Premier League ref, Dermot Gallagher, came out and said it was not a foul at all. So the thinking here is pretty simple. If you're a goalkeeper in this league, you've got to be the boss in your own box. You have to be dominant. But of course, that's only one side of the coin. Now, let's flip it over. An entirely different group of experts watched the exact same play and came to the complete opposite conclusion. It was a clear foul, and that goal should never have stood. And Richard Keys, a veteran in the broadcasting game, he really sums up this other side perfectly. He's not totally dismissing the other argument. He says, yeah, okay, weak, maybe, soft, perhaps, but, and this is the big but, none of that changes the fact that, in his eyes, Bayindir was fouled, simple as that.
So for this side, the key isn't just about Saliba being in the keeper's way. I mean, that happens. The argument is much more specific. It's about a particular illegal move. The claim is that he turned his back on the ball and then actively backed into the keeper. See, the intent here wasn't just to hold his ground, it was to physically and illegally block Bayindir from making a play, which is exactly what sent the keeper tumbling into the net.
So there you have it, the two arguments laid out right next to each other. On one side, you have no foul. It's all on the keeper to be stronger and command his area. On the other side, a clear foul. The attacker illegally blocked him. How can one moment of contact be seen in two completely different ways? It's pretty wild, right? Okay, so the pundits are split right down the middle. What about the rulebook? Let's see what the actual rules of the game have to say about this mess. And this really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? In a season where there are brand new instructions for the refs, what actually makes something a foul on the goalkeeper? This is extra important because officials have been told to clamp down on this exact kind of thing, the holding and grappling you see at set pieces. Yeah, this new directive from PGMOL, that's the body in charge of all the Premier League referees, by the way, it's absolutely critical here. They've put a new emphasis on penalizing anything where a player's contact clearly impedes an opponent's movement towards the ball. So, I mean, the whole debate really hangs on this, doesn't it? Did what Saliba did clearly impede the keeper? Does it fit that description? To try and make things less fuzzy, the head of the refs, Webb, actually laid out a checklist for his officials. So let's be the VAR for a second. Let's run through it. Step 1. Was the contact sustained or impactful? Step 2. Was there a clear impact on the keeper's chance to play the ball? Step 3. Was it a clear non-footballing action? And finally, Step 4. Was Saliba ignoring the ball just to focus on his opponent? You know, how you answer those 4 questions, that's probably going to tell you which side of this whole debate you land on. All right, so let's zoom out a little bit because, you know, whether you think it was a foul or not, the very fact that we're having this debate, well, it shines a massive spotlight on a much bigger headache for Manchester United, and that's the whole goalkeeper conundrum. And we're back to Gary Neville because he really hammers this point home. He connects this one goal, this one moment, to what he calls a glaring issue. For him, this isn't just about one call. It's a symptom of a much deeper problem at Manchester United, and it all comes down to the number 1 on the back of the jersey. And that's really why this one goal matters so much, especially for United fans. This isn't just about losing 3 points on the day. No, it taps into this whole history of instability in the goalkeeper position. Neville even brought up the years between legends like Schmeichel and Van der Sar. It fuels that call for a truly dominant number one. A keeper with a huge personality who just commands the box. A keeper who, as the critics would say, would never have even let this situation get to the point of debate. So when it all comes down to it, this single, controversial goal leaves us with a really big question about the game itself. When you have the rules on one hand and raw physicality on the other, who's really responsible? Is it on the player to push the rules to their absolute limit? Or is it all on the referee to draw that line in the sand and protect everyone in that chaotic penalty area? I mean, that's the question that sits at the very heart of this whole thing. And honestly, there's no easy answer.